Is Fantastic Four the biggest Mary Sue movie ever? Is Pedro Pascal actually decent in it? And are we even allowed to ask these questions and answer them? Let's talk about it right now.
I have a new appreciation for Superman after tonight.
Yes! You hang on, sir. You hang on. So Marvin hated Superman. We had Michelle from Force Light on. She liked Superman, and I came in the middle and gave it around a 6. So now, with everybody knowing where we've been, where we are, and what it is we like and don't like, I think we've been fair. There's not been a great superhero movie this year. There just hasn't been a great one. I gave Deadpool and Wolverine last year a 9 out of 10. So we're here to call balls and strikes tonight. That's what we do. This is going to be a spoiler review, folks. Straight up, we're not doing a spoiler-free part of it. No. The reason we're going straight into spoiler review is because I don't know how to review this movie without spoilers. I'm not even sure it's possible. So let's pull up the review, and then we'll get the panel in on this. Here is the review that you can see on That Park Place. It just released. Fantastic Four review. No, it isn't the best Marvel movie of the year. Let me read a little bit of this, and then we'll get the panel's thoughts. It says, Marvel has one last attempt at garnering hype before Avengers Doomsday, and it comes after a string of serious misses. We just covered that. We won't go back into it. It says, let's just get a few things out of the way before we truly start. There is zero, and I mean zero, reason to stay and watch the mid and or end credit scenes for Fantastic Four. And I cannot get in the mind of anybody who has told you that you should watch them. Yes, remember, we're in spoiler territory here. Yes, Dr. Doom apparently is in the movie. In the mid-credit scene, for 2 seconds, you can't see his face. I have no idea what it has to do with anything. Neither do you. And as best as I can tell, it is just proof positive. They have no idea what Avengers Doomsday is about. And they said, what can we do to have him be in there for 2 seconds? And don't even show who's in the cape.
No, and that's why I pushed back before the show. I'm going to push back now. It was Snow White.
It's Zegler. Oh, in the huntsman costume.
Yeah, look, it's only tangentially related to something you think might actually happen. That's how bad these things are shot.
Right. It says there are good things about Fantastic Four. Let's knock them out of the way first, okay? The Thing is a scene stealer just about every time. If there was a movie that was just about him, it'd be a good movie probably. The little robot's cute. Pedro Pascal, surprisingly, shockingly, isn't terrible. He plays a Reed Richards that is a sad sack and anxiety-riddled man who spouts magic spells, and we pretend it's science. But Pedro can't help what's in the script, and that's what's in the script. And he does an okay job. The film is shockingly pro-life, which I did not have on my bingo card. Even to the point of they will defend at all costs a child in the womb, and you get images of the child in the womb. If you watch the first half of Fantastic Four, in my opinion, you'll come away thinking that we're just haters. It's not until the second half of the movie that this thing turns into just an awful, awful film. Let's begin with some definitive statements that are easily proven to be true. Superman 2025 is a clearly superior film.
Yeah.
And it's, folks, this is not my opinion. I'm telling you. I'm going to explain it to you. The emphatic praise you heard from some of the early leaked reviews were totally lies. You see, in Superman, Clark Kent learns that he's been idolizing the wrong parents his whole life. That's the story arc. He's the son of the Kents, not of Krypton. And whether you like that or not, whether you think it was a good idea or not, whether you think James Gunn should have done that or not, whether you think it was executed well in the movie, at least there's something for Clark to actually do and learn. And the same is true in Thunderbolts, because shockingly, it's actually a story. So the people in Thunderbolts, the bad guy and the superhero girl, they learn that they have value despite what they've done in life. That they're redeemable. But in Fantastic Four, all 4 of our heroes are the same in the beginning as they are in the end. They learn absolutely nothing. They never change. They are simply archetypes who are all on the ride, the roller coaster ride with you. The world of Fantastic Four is totally Tomorrowland in the 1960s. And that it looks cool, but the problem is it's a little bit too bizarre for you to just accept it and be attached to whether or not this thing gets blown up or not. The Fantastic Four, basically, they're like messiahs because there are no governments that actually deal with problems or crises. Everybody seems to worship them. Whatever they say goes, and the worst they have to face off with is gaggles of journalists who ask them a hard question every once in a while. So when Galactus shows up and wants to eat Earth, it's the Fantastic Four who have to take over without any messing around with the U.S. government or military or anybody. No UN, nothing. It's literally the Fantastic Four. I'm pretty sure that if you have a water leak at your home, you don't call a plumber in this universe, you call the Fantastic Four. Now, what are they up against? They got to go find Galactus. And if you thought Galactus was cool, he is for the first half of the movie. And then he transforms into King Kong and Vigo from Ghostbusters 2. And he's going to eat the planet unless they give him their baby. And the rest of the movie is them trying to stop that from happening. Girl, Silver Surfer becomes a martyr. Reed Richards comes up with plans that always fail. Thing and Johnny Storm pretend to do some stuff and really never do. Sue Storm, though, is the Mary Sue. And I'm sorry, Jeremy Johns, I'm going to do this. I'm going to say it, and I'm going to back it up. Sue Storm is the Mary Sue of the ages. She makes Ray look like a nobody.
Ray!
Folks, Sue Storm, after everything fails, and it's a dumb plan. I mean, it's a really dumb plan. After everything fails.
Reed Richards comes up with the same plan. Genius Reed Richards, the same plan that Patrick Star comes up with on SpongeBob with, let's just take Bikini Bottom and push it over there.
I don't know, Patrick. I think I already saw that in Fantastic Four.
So, folks, Sue Storm is the Mary Sue of... listen, when everything fails... Again, we're in spoiler territory. I'm just going to spoil it for you. When everything fails, Sue Storm is able to shove Galactus, a Celestial. Sue Storm, on her own, no help, uses her powers to shove Galactus across a city and into outer space across the freaking universe. And when Sue Storm does that, do you know who finishes him off so he can't come back through the wormhole?
Rose Tico.
Rose Tico, Girl Surfer, comes in like a wrecking ball and blasts him back into the portal because at some point in the movie, Johnny Storm spoke to her in her language and that changed everything.
Oh, so much to unpack there.
Sue Storm, Luke Skywalker had a better ending than Galactus. That's all I'm going to say. This guy looks like he's the size of a galaxy till he gets down to Earth, and then he's maybe smaller than Godzilla and slow moving. Like, he's terrifying in space.
Thank God I'm not the only one that noticed that the scale of Galactus continues to change over and over and over again.
The first half of the movie is so much better, and the second half is so terrible.
Well, it's the inverse of Thunderbolts.
Yes.
Well, you can see where the edits happened.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, but Pro, here, I have a joke for you. This will help you understand what's happening. Do you know how they catch elephants?
Giant tranquilizer darts.
No. They dig a big pit, a big, huge pit, just a big, massive pit, and then they set a fire in it with lots of logs. They make sure that when the fires burn down, that the pit is full of ashes. And then when the elephant walks by, they kick him in the ash hole. Okay, I went a long way for that joke. Nobody loved
I don't
it.
remember that in the Elephant Show. I remember Skinny Rinky Dinky Dink. I don't remember put him in the
But honestly, that's exactly what happened. It's like, Galactus, come over here. I felt like that's what I needed. I needed the Mortal Kombat sound. Get over here. And that's kind of what she did. And then
culture. Let me explain that to folks. The Silver Surfer girl comes. So they've got this plan. They're going to transport Earth to some other side of the or some other side of the universe, which is already just
a long way. It's a long way.
It's a really dumb idea. Anyway, so they. I'm not going to go into the science of how that would destroy the world, even if you could teleport giant objects. But anyway, so they're going to do it. Silver Surfer she gets the idea that she's going to blow up all the stuff. Okay, so she blows up all the stuff that would let that happen, and she leaves one little machine left that just happens to be right outside the big building where the Fantastic Four live. And then Galactus, who presumably has to have some kind of intelligence, lands down, and their plan is for him to just walk in the middle of that for 37 seconds and stand still. And I'm trying to figure out, like, does he have an IQ that's below 20? Like, what were they thinking that Galactus could be like, okay, I'm going to stand here with the baby.
Galactus doesn't have an IQ under 20. The people that wrote this movie do.
Yes, and all of that is true. And yes, he realizes and basically says his version of the line, puny humans, and decides not to step onto the area, which will automatically suck him into the hole with the rest of the suck.
There's also a thing in here. Mole Man and Subterranea is the dumbest thing I have ever.
Useless.
I have ever, like, they have to evacuate their version of New York City. And rather than being like, you know what, Jersey's over there, let's do that.
Yeah, there's bridges.
Instead, we got to go down into the middle of the earth. For some reason, I can't figure out what. I have no idea why Mole Man is there.
My biggest pet peeve in modern movies now is this thing, and I hated it in Superman too. When all of a sudden it's like, we have to evacuate the city. 5 minutes later, all right, the city's evacuated,
and we could have sent them to somewhere else easily. You know, like across the river.
How slow does Galactus' ship actually move?
Very slowly.
As slow as Thrawn's. All right, well, I could go on and on and on and on. The bottom line here is, for me, if your characters don't learn anything, it's boring. And I think that the people who enjoy this movie at first, and I don't want to take away from them. No. In fact, some of the panelists here may have enjoyed it. And we may have some other panelists joining us. But I think over time, you just have to sit with this for a minute, and it starts getting worse and worse the more you think about it, because it's a lot of flashing colors, it's a lot of space adventure stuff, but nothing really happens. Yes. And you don't have to watch this movie at all
ever
to see Doomsday. You will learn nothing, in my opinion, that will help you with Doomsday, unless you want to see Dr. Doom from the back, cape only, for 2 seconds in a completely nonsensical mid-credit scene.
Let's be fair, that was probably Pepper Potts.
Probably. All right, Marvin is ready to go. Marvin, I'm going to unleash you now. Sir, have at it.
You know what? I'll give you the things that I liked first, because I thought I really liked the setting. But then I feel like the second now you're going to take the Fantastic Four and put them into the regular Marvel universe, you've taken them out of that setting. So now the setting is no longer in play. I like the fact that this is the first movie outside of Phase 1 since Guardians of the Galaxy that anyone can just watch this without having never seen another Marvel movie in their life and still understand the movie. This is a movie about smart people written by dumb people. Reed Richards is the biggest moron on the planet. He says nothing intelligent, but he writes on chalkboards every once in a while. So he's a smart guy. he just says the give me a lever and tell me where to stand and I can move the earth. He says it more than once. I think more than twice. And I'm just like, why is this the only thing that he knows how to say?
And Marvin, the only reason they think they can teleport the earth is because they've teleported an egg.
An egg.
In a scene that when it happens, they're going to teleport something, because you're like, this has nothing to do with the movie. So clearly, this is the worst case of foreshadowing ever. That stuff's happening, and all of a sudden they're like, hey, by the way, take a break for a minute while we show you that we can teleport an egg.
Cosmic Marvel is my favorite version of Marvel. I love the Silver Surfer. He's in my top 10 superheroes of all time. He is in my top 10 superheroes of all time. This Shala Bal nonsense. You might as well have cast Rosemary Harris and made her the Herald of Galactus, because for one issue of a comic book at some point, Aunt May was the Herald of Galactus. The fact that and then when we see her actual backstory, it's not that she's trying to protect Norrin Radd. It's not anything with her father. It's that she's a single mother working hard for her daughter. And so for that, she gives up. Normally the Silver Surfer gets his memory wiped, and that's why he's okay with going to random planets and having Galactus eat them. This Silver Surfer apparently is completely aware of her past at all times, knowingly helps Galactus destroy all of these planets, and then at the end of the day doesn't care about it until she gets called out on it by this guy. In
her language. Now, and hang on, Marvin, doesn't he call her out before she destroys all the stuff that would save Earth?
No, it was
No,
right
exactly.
before she destroyed
Okay.
the last thing. Yeah, she
Exactly.
right.
And then Johnny actually makes like he might actually get his big dramatic moment at the end, and then she Rose Kiko's him out of the way. So because Galactus has to be stopped by the two women, Sue Storm, with the power of motherhood, the overwhelming strength flowing from her ovaries, is able to arm wrestle Galactus into submission.
All right, so Marvin, I've said that's the biggest Mary Sue moment I think in any
Ever.
movie.
It's actually true.
You don't fight Galactus. You can't fight Galactus.
No, you push him
can't
in a hole.
Yeah, you cannot fight Galactus. It doesn't work. The way you beat Galactus is Reed Richards outthinks him, outsmarts him, or makes a deal with him in some way. You can't fight Galactus. If Sue Storm was able to do this, what would happen if you dropped Super Skrull Khaleesi into the middle of this world from Secret Invasion?
Well,
Galactus would be a putty patrol.
What this means is Sue Storm can beat anybody. That's it.
My mom do. I'm here to make a bargain.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, no, but here's the thing that you guys aren't even seeing the enormity of the calamity of the storytelling here. Okay, this guy goes on the platform where we're going to put this big wormhole in. Where is Earth going to go when you bring a wormhole to the surface of the Earth?
All right, so let me say this, because I know people are going to say, now wait a minute. What about Superman? Why is this worse than Superman? Why are you guys hammering this movie? And I'm going to give the answer. And then panel, you agree and disagree, and we're going to get Ron in because Ron hasn't had a chance, and I think Ron's going to have a different opinion than us, and that's important.
And laughable. Yeah.
Ron, you can get him in a minute. The reason that I believe this is significantly worse than Superman is because for all the flaws that Superman had, and I gave it a 6, okay? So I'm not here to tell you that I loved it. I appreciate that some people did. I appreciate that some people hated it. I was in the middle. I think it's a flawed movie that tried to aim for some big things and got a lot of stuff wrong, got some stuff right. Superman at least had a movie where Superman / Clark Kent goes on an adventure and learns something that's life-altering. He learns that the people who instilled the values in him are his parents, Ma and Pa Kent, and that they're the ones who have been telling him to take on the responsibility and to use that responsibility to make the world better. And he remembers them raising him up as a child, and he goes back through those memories of them raising him and showering him with love, and that's how the movie wraps. In Fantastic Four, I don't know what any of these characters learned at all. I know of zero character progression. And that means to me that this is definitively a worse movie, because if I don't go on an adventure with a hero who learns something, I struggle to understand what it was I was doing other than eating way too salty popcorn that has me feeling a little nauseous now. Now, don't everybody disagree or agree too vehemently or loudly. Ron?
Okay, look, first of all, you have to admit something. Johnny Storm learned something very important in this movie. He learned that he was very, very attracted to shiny silver women.
Sort of. I mean, sort of. He says he's a... Listen, we are repeatedly told in the movie that he's a ladies' man with no evidence thereof.
Yeah.
No,
because none of them interact with regular people. None of them interact with anyone outside of the press in that one scene. The core 4 of them: Galactus and the Silver Surfer. Sorry, Ron. Go ahead.
No, well, I mean, some people though are saying that that's kind of a good thing, just because it really does hold the movie to just them. So it could be viewed as either way, and I can see that. So the reason I hated Superman, and I hated this version of Superman. And there's a reason that there's 2 scenes out of all of the Superman movies and that I just absolutely love. The first scene, to me, the best Superman scene in a Superman movie is the interview between Lois and Superman in Superman the movie 1978. Just the charm of Christopher Reeve and them and then like the end of it going, oh, let's see how fast I can fly, and then he takes Lois. The "can you read my mind" thing is kind of dumb, but I love the charm of that scene. And then the other scene that I love is outside of the rest of the movie, which isn't that great. In Man of Steel, the first flight scene where Jor-El is talking about how, I sent you here to give the people of Earth, a figure to look up to, and he learns how to fly. Just that single scene alone. I love those two scenes, and I wish we had a better Superman movie than we have. It's really, we have some really great actors who have played Superman, and I just still feel like we're lacking in the best Superman movie, that it's still out there somewhere. I'd love to see it.
All right, now tell us Fantastic Four, why do you think it's better than Superman 2025?
So you're right about the character arcs. There are no character arcs in this, and that is true. I found it personally more entertaining. It is a standalone movie that doesn't interact with the rest of the MCU. I did not find it great. Okay, I'm not saying that I found this movie great at all. I found it mildly entertaining. That is all. That is the best that I can say about it. And I found Thunderbolts mildly entertaining as well. There were things that I enjoyed about that, things that I didn't.
I'm going to give you a gift card to therapy, dude.
I think this is about Thunderbolts level. It's just about right around there.
But let me tell you why I found it mildly. It's not about Galactus. It's not about, I found it mildly entertaining because I like that they tried to create something different with this 828 world, and they set it apart from the rest of the MCU. However, I would also say, on the other hand, why the heck buy this property from Fox and then set it apart from the MCU? And also, it makes sense.
I've got the answer for that.
Make sense. I'm so confused about.
I have the answer for that. Rumor and speculation territory for just a moment, folks. What I've heard from a number of sources, we can't corroborate it, but I've heard it from many sources, and I believe it, is that the plan had been for the Fantastic Four to leave their little universe, go to the MCU's universe. That all ends. The Fantastic Four come back to this universe that we just experienced. The X-Men come about because of the cosmic radiation or whatever, and that's the reboot. Now we're into the X-Men era in a different MCU that is set in a different timeline. That's a period piece, et cetera, et cetera. Marvin, you don't seem to be happy with any of this, though. And I just... The part that lost me completely, where I just kind of threw my hands up and said, oh, good grief, was when Sue Storm could send Galactus. And it's like, it just comes out of nowhere where
it's insane.
There is
force. There is no force in the universe outside of maybe like eternity itself that can actually shove Galactus.
And she does it across city blocks.
The only person in the movie that would have even a chance of slowing his gait is the Surfer, and that would only be for like a second. You don't, like I said, you cannot fight Galactus. That's the point of him. When Galactus is coming for your world, you are done. That's it.
And what it did, Culture, when it happened, I thought, well, now wait a minute, because this is story breaking, right? I thought it was like when they did the Holdo maneuver in Star Wars, right? It just breaks everything. So when she does that, I thought, well, shoot, why didn't she just push his spaceship back? There's no friction up there. Sue Storm can literally just shove Galactus' spaceship across the galaxy like she doesn't care, because this woman is shoving a Celestial, and it comes out of nowhere. Like, if this was part of the plan, why didn't you come up with it in the beginning? Like, why did we go through all this?
It should have been Reed in some way outsmarting him, or finding something that he wants even more and making a deal. It should not have been an out-and-out victory against Galactus. And did you guys notice, just a sidebar, in the credits, the last song before the final post-credit scene, the Kumbaya acoustic guitar "Let Us Be Devoured" song?
It's so bad. It didn't make it in the movie for a reason. It's terrible.
Okay, but
I'm
here's
assuming
the
it was supposed to be for that cult of Galactus that they now for a second.
I guess.
Oh my God.
Yeah. All I want to say is you guys obviously missed something very important during the film. Scott Pilgrim showed up and gave them the power of love. And that was the power up that gave her the ability. to put Galactus in a wormhole that somehow is not magically devouring the Earth as it spins, but let's him go all safe.
All right, well, let's get
we're
super
missing.
chats. Go ahead, Marvin, then Ron, and then we'll do super chats. Go ahead, Marvin.
We're missing Sue's actual superpower in this, the ability to bring about world peace in 3 minutes by just going up. The entire world hates them, and they're like, "Give up your baby so that we can all live." And then she goes out and she's like, "No, because family." And then the entire world's like, "Oh, bravo! You're so brave."
So for people who have not seen the movie, what happens
It's terrible.
is Galactus wants the baby because he's Vigo from Ghostbusters 2. He wants the baby, and they refuse to give the baby. The whole world finds out via the Fantastic Four and the genius Reed Richards that they're going to give up the entire world because they won't give up the baby. Now the world is angry. They riot outside the Fantastic Four's house, and Sue Storm walks out with the baby in arms into the rioting, furious crowd that wants to sacrifice one for the salvation of billions. And she gives like a 2-minute maybe speech about family. And they're all like, "Well, actually, that baby really does matter then. Well, never mind. Let's just all die."
Well, that's family.
All right, Ron, go for it.
Well,
Culture, you've been muted the whole time. You had an impassioned speech.
I did. I was telling you, Pro, normally I love you, but you have now lowered my opinion of this movie. It is now moving down the scale. I'm livid. The amount of stupid that's in this now has gone up exponentially. I keep irritating myself.
No, Culture, listen. They should have gotten into the Statue of Liberty. Reed Richards could have played some music, got it to walk down the streets and attacked it with a torch. And that's how we could have defeated Vigo version 2.
It's the power of love.
I think
No, that's the wrong song, right?
There was supposedly a cutting room floor scene. It was about 5 or 6 seconds long.
There are several
where the Fast and the Furious cast showed up to applaud her for her family speech. He's like, "Yeah, that's right. So it's all about family."
Well, it worked they also bring up that she's established world peace with the Future Foundation as well. So she is just like the most perfect human being that's ever lived. Meanwhile, this guy right here, Ben Grimm,
that guy right there.
The extreme weakness of this film is the same thing I said about Superman. We are starting in a story that has already resolved itself. We are in the third act of a story in this point. We're even further along than Superman because there's no conflict within the family unit. We don't get Ben and Johnny at each other's throats. We don't get Johnny having to overcome his narcissism to be a better person. We don't get Ben grappling with the fact that he's now turned into this monster and stands apart from the rest of humanity. There's none of that. There is no internal conflict in this entire film. And he suffers from it.
He clearly had some issues with the little Yenta down on the corner that, showed up in the third act. So there's
but can we just be thankful that Natasha Lyonne played a little Yenta on the corner and didn't play the duck butt baby from What If that she played in that show?
Well, I would. Are you sure that's the final evolution? Yeah.
All right, guys, it is time to give the score for the Fantastic Four. Ron, you've gone off camera. Are you still there, sir? Do I need to start with Marvin instead? I was going to start with you on the carousel.
Well, you can start with me.
Okay. He's taking a drink. He's ready to go. He's hydrated and ready to let you know what he thinks. Ron,
all right.
It's going to go you, Culture, Marvin, me. Vash is not going to give a score because Vash has not yet seen the movie. He is producing. So go ahead, Ron.
All right. So I have to give this with the caveat that I think this may be my highest score of any movie that I've seen this year. And I'm saying that, and I think this is sad. I gave it a 5.5 out of 10.
All right, 5.5 is Ron's score out of 10, right, Ron?
Out of 10, and which means I barely kind of like the movie.
Now, wait a minute. Ron, you liked Lilo and Stitch better than a 5.5, right?
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, Lilo and Stitch, I definitely give it a
Did you see How to Train Your Dragon?
I have not seen that yet. No.
Okay. Well, you would like it better. You would like it better than that.
Yeah, that is true. Lilo and Stitch. I think I gave an 8 to Lilo and Stitch. So yeah. So yeah. To say this is no. I definitely did not like this as much as I like Lilo.
Well, Ron, what you need to do is go watch F1. I think that you'll be very happy if you go watch.
No, F1's really good. I haven't had a chance to score it, but I enjoyed it.
Okay, right now, do it. What would be the score for F1 if you had to give it right now, just off the top of your head?
8.5. Really
Okay.
good.
See, it's not been all bad. So 5.5. Culture, what say you? What is your score? 0 to 10. 0 is Garbage Pail Kids meets Rainbow Bride and the Star Stealer. 10 is Saving Private Ryan meets Citizen Kane, if you like those movies.
Let me just tell you where I started before we got on here, and then you guys brought up great points about how much more horrible this was. So we went from no, it's great because we went from a D plus, which is where all things go to die over at Disney, to at this point now, this might be a 5 flat out of 10. This is a 5 out of 10. This could go lower. This is the problem, right? So like, I don't lock in on a score right away. I like give a range because like I think like the more I think about it, just like with Force Awakens, the more it's gonna piss me off.
Oh yeah.
So this film keeps pissing me off. I think it's Marvin's fault now.
Well, I told you the longer. So, and I think this is going to be a phenomenon, right? I think people are going to sour on this movie in the days ahead. Those who review it more kindly, I think, are going to regret it a little bit. And I'm not trying to pressure anybody not to do so, but the more you think about the movie, the less good it is. It just
Andre
the first act
hit the nail on the head. Andre hit the nail on the head on Midnight's Edge. He said, "When you watch this movie, your brain turns off."
Yeah, it has to. It has to enjoy it. Yeah.
As your brain comes back on and you think about it more, you start to hate it more.
Well, you realize that half of the first act is a complete waste.
Yeah.
So you don't really.
But even then, I thought it was going to be a higher score in the first half because the pacing was not terrible. I thought, man, this must be building up to something big. Like, this is going to be amazing.
Yes.
Like, their entire culture. I'll be honest with you. What I thought was going to happen based on the first half and how slow it was.
It's going to build.
I thought in the second half that they were actually going to lose Earth and they were going to have to escape to the Marvel universe that we know. And that was going to be their play and this would have been a much better movie. And I'm not saying that because I want my headcanon to be right. I wasn't emotionally attached to it. But a much better movie is if Reed Richards at the very end says, there's only one way we can save this universe. We have to flee the people we've promised to protect. And they literally give Galactus Earth, knowing that they're going to come back at a prior place in time using the MCU world to help them. Like they're going to go get the Avengers. If that had been the plan and you were like, holy crap, like, that would have been a better movie than all of a sudden Sue Storm comes out and says, you know what? I've got this ability. I can sumo wrestle Galactus.
My theory was still going to be that they would have to push him through a portal. That's always been my theory, but I thought they were going to push him. I thought it was going to be the only way to get him through is we have to ram him with the ship. And then Galactus and the ship will
end up in a different universe.
Through,
yeah.
And they both end up in the Marvels in the MCU. By the way, to all of you lovely people that have been screaming at me for a year but it's just because it's an alternate universe within the 626, they're going to still have the male Silver Surfer. No, they are not.
Right.
Well, I mean, now she's in a different universe. She might be in 626. We don't even know.
Exactly. This is the Silver Surfer.
Another option would have been if Dr. Doom had showed up and they had basically sold their soul to the devil to get him to help stop Galactus. Like, that's another option you could have done.
Not like Ironheart selling her soul to the devil.
No, not literally. That was, you're right. I forgot. Marvel literally does that sometimes.
Okay. So that's my score. Did we get his score?
Marvin, 0 to 10. What do you say?
4.
Sheesh. Wow.
Okay. And I'm giving it a 5. And folks, this is too low. We can't give it this low. We're going to get in trouble if we do this. You guys tell me what you think about this. So right now we're at a 4.9 out of 10 as the score. Can we just round it up to 5 so we don't take heat?
We can go to 5.
Come on, Culture. You know we're going to take heat if it's below 5.
I don't care. I write things on Criticless. I don't care.
We're going to give it a 5. if we give it
I should wear it.
it organically happened, but if we give it a 4.9, people are gonna be like,
The Pro Channel wouldn't even give it they took 1 decimal point off, so it wouldn't even hit a 5.
that's what, so we can't do that.
Okay.
Okay,
I have a question though. I got to shoot this to the panel. Okay.
John G has it. John G in the chat says 5 out of 10 certified fresh.
Okay.
Boom.
The first half of the movie, when up until the point where they actually got to Galactus, the first time we saw Galactus, when Galactus was about 15 times the size that he was at the end of the movie. I don't know if anybody noticed that. Galactus shrunk a lot. He was huge at first. I thought the first interaction.
He took a shower, Ron. Come on, you know how that works.
The first fight with Galactus, I thought that was really good up until the point where they had to try and throw Silver Surfer in a black hole, but right on the edge, so she can't. I mean, some of the physics of it got really dumb. But up until that point, up until they started going back to Earth, I thought it was that point after they got back to Earth that the movie started to go downhill for me, and I'm like, oh, it could have been so much better. I feel like the movie started off with being a potentially good movie that just then.
Yep. It's the reverse of Thunderbolts, and I want to say this: there will be people out there that enjoy our content who like this movie.
Yeah,
we're not making fun of you. We're not mocking you. We're not denigrating your opinion. We appreciate you, and we're glad you enjoyed it.
And I envy you. If you like this, I envy you, because it is more fun to like something than it is to hate something, and I am desperate to like a movie right now.